Peace. My name is G Man of Law. My artist name is P Funk City G, and I'd like to welcome you to Rebel Life. Here's the naked truth. We got a great show, I wanted to say, podcast today. I'm going to be talking about what Jamaica taught me about being happy, and true original hip-hop is the heart and soul of the black community's most rebellious. So, I'm gonna hit them hard with this one. But before I get started, I'd like to thank everybody for your time, your patience, your consideration, your comments, your subscribers, you subscribing, PayPal donations. I appreciate it all. I want to send my condolences out to the young girl in Texas who got murdered. It was a sad event to hear. I mean, these young boys, they living by different rules. I think Scarface, the movie Scarface, even if somebody wasn't raised around gangsters, if my generation, we all grew up on Scarface, and that gave you the lessons of the game. No women, no children, and we so far from that right now. It's crazy. So I want to say, send condolences to her. The daughter of I think he was a gambler and a rapper, and even by the name like GS Lil Ronnie. I had never heard of him until this had happened, but I'm definitely familiar with that Dallas area because I love music of Mo 3. Mo 3 is one of my favorite, rappers of this generation. I would have to say Mo 3, FBG Duck, and Little Reese. Those are my favorite, of this generation of drill. Because I really don't try not to listen too much of it. I try to balance it, and because it's just horrible, it's disgusting. It's killing our people, and it's showing them how to kill our people. Like I said, we grew up on Scarface, and so it was like, niggas was killing niggas, gangsters was killing gangsters, and it wasn't about killing innocent bystanders, or innocent, beings, and definitely no kids. Like, somebody could get killed for that, you know what I mean? And that's like Scarface set like the rules of, it was a movie of how to sell crack, how to sell, cocaine, and that's what it destroyed, that crack epidemic destroyed our community, and in hindsight we saw how we were used, because hip-hop wasn't, created for that. Like I said, the true original hip-hop is the heart and soul of the black community's most rebellious, and we were rebellious, but we weren't rebellious in a way of like hurting innocent people. It was about, standing up, black power, black unity, black love, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Muhammad Ali, Now it's like GS Little Ronnie, FBG Duck, Little Reese, those are my favorite dudes, and, they were, ops, so-called ops, and the only people they hurt were their community, just like, you know, how I hurt my community, you know, being in the drug game, and, you know, so that, you know, that, I don't want to get into that, because I could talk all day about, you know, like gangster life, you know what I'm saying? I lived every part of it, every facet of it, you know, ran with pimps, you know what I mean, drug dealers, killers, scammers, prostitutes, you know what I mean? So I know, you know, every aspect of the underworld, you know, but, you know, I'm not here to condone it, you know. It's like, you know, my storyline is, you know, Jamaica saved me from all of that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, let's be clear, Jamaica ain't, you know, it's like, it's not soft about Jamaica. Jamaica is one of the hardest countries in our hemisphere, you know, and that's why it's respected by the black community, because, you know, we only respect them real, you know, and it's like, it don't get no realer than Jamaica in our hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever been to the British Islands and Bermuda and Barbados, you know, them places, you know what I mean? They're a cakewalk. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, there's no violence, no, you know what I mean? Gangsters, you know what I'm saying? Like, you good going over there. But Trinidad, Tobago, you know what I mean? Jamaica, but I say Jamaica, you know what I mean? Number one, you know what I mean? You got some hard areas. Hades is another hard area, you know. But Jamaica also has, like, you know, the other side of the gangster life, which is paradise, you know, good living. You know, it's like I don't know if I said it in another video, but, you know, OG gave me some, you know, advice when I first moved here. He said Jamaica has it all, you know, and it's up to you whether you want to, you know, delve into the bad or delve into the good. But if you delve into the bad, it's going to be all bad. If you delve into the good, it's going to be all good. And that's my advice to anyone coming. You know, if you delve into all good, you don't got to worry about, you know, the gangsters and being kidnapped and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because anywhere there's a bank, there's going to be evil. And somebody willing to pay, you know what I mean, to get some of that and do evil to, you know, get some of that paper, you know. So, you know, but there's, you know, a world of good out there too that utilizes the paper for good. And if we travel the world, focus on the people that you know, do good, we'll be okay, you know? And that's, you know, the part of this video is how Jamaica taught me happiness, you know, because it's like, you know, I've probably never had less, you know what I'm saying, but I have the most right now, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I, you know, had houses and warehouses full of, you know, music equipment, studios, microphones, people, you know what I mean, 10s and 20s of people coming to work every day, and, you know, had a functioning planet, you know, and you know, supporting all of that, you know, and so it wasn't, you know, it was always fun, but, you know, eating good food and rest, and, you know what I mean, not working like a slave, you know what I mean, being able to, like, you know, expand my mind, reading, and, you know, teaching, you know, I teach my son, you know what I mean, and, you know, and that's my main thing here in Jamaica was, you know, there to raise my son, you know. I talked about, you know, what brought me to Jamaica and this and that. And so, you know, like once my son was born, you know, because I was, you know, just getting out of school and this and that. So, you know, I had my son. We were pregnant with my son probably about, you know, 16 months into the relationship. My son was born a year later. So we have been together for over 2 years before my son was born. And so, you know, one of the things that held me down and knew I was gonna have security as the $3,000. Then I had a lawsuit. I was involved in a $3,000 from the grants and the cost of school, right? Then I had also a lawsuit, that I had coming. So that was like really my security. It's not like I just jumped out there crazy, But the thing was, I could not get a job, So it was like, I'll figure it out in Jamaica, Because I couldn't spend no more time trying to figure it out in America, you know. Also, I don't want to get sidetracked, but I'll get back to that. But I was just gonna talk about my brother Ibrahim. He came to visit me in January, and he was he had came to visit, stay with us. We had a great time. When I was going to school, I was, I talked about how I got a room. Yeah, the room was in my brother Ibrahim, Wakil Allah's cousin, which I didn't know at the time. But, renting a room while I'm going to school, me and him, became family. Like, they treated me like family. I treated them like family. They took, it was a beautiful experience. And, actually, I had rented an apartment prior, and when I went to school, I went back to that because I was living with a young lady. That's when I learned, like, never live with a woman. Like, the man has to, like, you gotta have your own crib. You can't have a woman, be living with a woman. And under no circumstances can a man live with a woman. Like, it has to be your house. You have to be the, provider of that house. And that's what Islam teaches, And it was like I was trying to, pick the best parts and all of that, and meet a better young lady. It was like, anyway. So that's, when we broke up, it was her crib, and I had to find, get in the room real quick until I could find a place, because I found a house to rent to put the equipment. So that's how I met Ibrahim, my man who came out in January. My brother, and he had a good time. He enjoyed himself, and he travels a lot. He has a travel channel that he's doing. I'm gonna put a link, so you can click on and check him out. But he came to see me, and around that time, I was doing the studio thing, and it was hard for me to get a job. And what happened is, I was doing the studio thing, and I wanted to slow down when I got into the relationship with the shorty who, I call it bipolar, but, bipolar had we moved in together, but in her house, like she was moving somewhere, I was moving somewhere. We moved in together, but it was in her name, lease, and the whole nine. That didn't work out, obviously. And not surprisingly, but anyway, so I tell any of the young brothers, never, bring her into your space if you want to bring her, but never live in her space. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another story. So I tried to do the work thing, and be legitimate, and, I couldn't, like, for one, it was like I couldn't get a job, like, to, to survive, to, like, help out with the rent, I was, helping out as I could, but it was like she was, the breadwinner, I ain't even gonna front, but I couldn't keep a job, because like I said, with my record, I couldn't get a good job, so I worked for, like, a temp agency, wasn't paying nothing, at the end, so I was like, so after that relationship, I took that job, tried to live the, like, regular life, like the cornball life. Now, I ain't gonna say cornball life, but like that, I'm not ready, I don't want to live, no more. It's like I focus on myself. You know what I mean? It's music. You know what I mean? It's helping me. You know what I mean? Grow. I've grown in business. I'm working with artists. You know what I mean? So it's paying off. But at that time, I was trying to do, satisfy her. Husband and all that shit. You know what I mean? But it was like I can't be a husband if I can't take care of all her needs. You know what I'm saying? And in the 5% nation of within the supreme alphabet, they got the lesson of the father. The father is the nourisher and provider for the family, for the house. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I couldn't provide for her. You know what I mean? So anyway. I left there, got got a room that I could afford, you know what I mean? Doing my thing, building up, and all of that. And so me and Ibrahim became good friends, and like family. He like a little brother to me, you know what I'm saying? That's my word, you know what I'm saying? But, he had this some time too, you know what I'm saying? And, he's a truck driver now. A lot of cats who did biz, they come home and do they drive trucks because it's like I said, when you come home, it's hard for you to get a job. Truck drivers don't, you know what I mean? They don't need they don't check for a criminal record in the music business. So you know what I mean. So I've always been able to thrive in the music business. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean, and I'm definitely not suited for truck driving. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, one time, me and him was working at the same place. I got the job and I put him on. You know what I mean? He got the job and he was driving. Like I was working in the office, in like that. It was Crystal's Dodge or Automotive or something like that on Route 22. You know what I mean? So I'm working there. I'm working in like the parts department where they get the parts and things for the Dodge, because they had Dodge, Toyota, and the different things. So I worked in the Dodge department in the parts department. So I would keep a log in a computer. I ran the computer of what is in stock and where it is and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And his job was driving a little red truck, you know what I mean, that had Crystal Dodge or Crystal, whatever, Crystal something, Auto Center. And he would deliver to different stores and stuff and different, for different clients. And they called us the same day, but one at a time. Called me and was like, hey, we got the result back in the results, and came back. You got a criminal record. We gotta let you go. This and that. You was a good worker though. You know what I mean? They told Ibrahim the same thing. You know what I mean? So we right back at his mom's crib, like you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we got, you know what I mean? So like I said, a couple months later, I made a deal with and got a house in with the studio in, but it was like just this cycle of you know what I mean, just trying to float, you know what I'm saying. I couldn't get a job to pay a grown man in his 30s, you know what I'm saying, for a comfortable life, you know what I'm saying. That's just basically it, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, alright, like I said, so I'm in Jamaica. My son is born, It was it was getting hectic, you know what I'm saying? And that $16,000, that I had, you know what I mean, in the bank to get me through and all of that, it was dwindling, you know what I'm saying? My son, you know what I mean, that first year, he was born in, I'm taking you to he was born in, and he had been living for about a year. So now it's okay. I was like, it's getting thin. I gotta, figure out something to do where, I could so I was gonna, come back, to the States, and I got in contact with my school and was like, You know what I mean? I need a job. You know, because they're supposed to. You know how you go to school. They have a job placement program. Yo, it's like Rachel Devon. You know what I mean? You know, because I worked at that department a little bit too. I talked about in previous. So anyway, I knew everybody in the whole staff of the school. So I was like, yo, you know what I mean? I need something. You know what I mean? So she was like, yo, you need to stay where you at. Ain't nothing out here. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, I feel the same feeling right now that I felt then. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what? Yo, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, damn. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it just got real. You know what I'm saying? You got a kid and a woman you taking care of. And you know what I'm saying? I'm taking care of everything. You know what I mean? What I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? She raising a child. You know what I mean? Like, my son didn't eat any food for the first year. It was all breast. You know what I mean? Boy thicker. I'll probably show some videos of him, you know what I mean? And boy, you know what I mean? Solid. But, you know, Jamaican people know. Like, you know what I mean? That breast milk, you know what I mean? And, like, you know, it makes you different for the rest of your life. Solid, strong. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know what I mean? A lot of Americans are weak. You know what I'm saying? Because we, you know, we getting, you know, some chemical based, you know what I mean, diet so the women can get back to work and make money, and you know what I mean? Yo, it's like the great thing about America is that you can make a lot of money. But the bad thing is you gotta give up your soul for it. You know what I'm saying? And so in Jamaica, I didn't have to give up my soul. You know what I'm saying? I was like, got in touch with the family. I was like, yo, I need to come back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like to get a job. This is the plan. You know, I was like, because like I said, my history is selling drugs and making music. That's what I do excel at. But I stopped selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? And living that negative life. You know what I'm saying? Also, I do music. But, it was like, the music shit is like, you got a lot of money, then you don't have no money. Then you got a lot of money, then you don't got a lot of money. Unless you got millions, you know what I mean? But it's like, what they call a struggling artist. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so now it's like, yo, I gotta figure out something like where I, have consistent money. And that's what, like, even when I was in a relationship, that's what I was trying to do, just have consistent money, where it's safe money. Like, you get a check. This is what you get every month. And you know what I mean? And we can go half on the bills. So that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to go back to the States, get a job doing anything. Like, I had the associate's degree, so I said, yo, I know I could at least, like, be a manager at Burger King or something, you know what I mean? So, I'm running the plan by my posse. He was like, yo, man, just stay out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your son, raise your son, I got you. And, you know what I'm saying? And that's really, like, he's been the foundation, you know what I'm saying? Of, like, someone that I can, fall back on here, you know what I'm saying? And, and focus on my son. That's why I focus on my son, because my pops, you know what I'm saying? He told me, we'll sort it out, bro. Raise your son, yo. And, so that's what I'm doing, man. That's what I'm doing. And it's there because my son was like, Daddy, what do you do? And I said, yo, I raised you, man. He looked at me and ran to me and gave me a big hug. And that's what my life is about, That's what I'm happy. I've never been so happy in my life. And I couldn't do that in America. house that I paid for and send him 8 hours a day to a weirdo and just get reports of whether he's doing well or not. So my son was taught by his mother, his first teacher. She taught him how to read. All the teachers say he's an excellent reader. Excellent comprehension. I taught him math and arithmetic. And I'm blessed for that. I'm blessed for that. And I thank my family for, supporting me in this endeavor, It wasn't within the, last couple of years that, I really started getting on my feet financially, Like, it wasn't like I was, kicked back, like, living in a bed, one time I was living in a board house, with someone else on the other side of the house. I've slept, on concrete floors on the beach. Not on the beach, but on Jamaica steps. But I knew I was gonna make it happen. And fortunately for the, permission of the law and the blessing of the law, that growing financially, once my son started like walking and all of that, because I just stopped doing music, everything, especially when my son, when my son and his mother separated, I was taking care, I had him full time, I've had him full time since, because, she tried to, but it was like, she had to move out and move, things got rough for her, and, things was already rough for me, and so it was like, it was more, better for me to take care of him, full time, have him full time, and I just thank Allah for that, because that's the greatest thing that I've ever done, it's the greatest thing I've ever done. And the greatest gift that my father gave me besides life was the opportunity to raise my son. I was telling the God Divine Element the other day, I feel like Master Fard's father, he said that Master Fard, taught Master Fard, the Islam that's older than the sun, moon, and stars, older than the Prophet Muhammad, the Islam that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. Well, that Master Fard, his father, taught him as a child, raised him up to go find his lost brothers and sisters, the black nation, the lost found nation living in America. And he taught his son and prepared his son to come amongst black people in America and teach them. But how he prepared at first for the plan, he got a good woman. He found a white woman, a righteous woman, not just any old white woman, but a white woman who knew who she was and who the original people are. And they gave birth to a white-looking child that could past as white, coming into America to come find the lost found black, his lost found uncles, right? Because he was a white person, so we the original people would be his uncles. And taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know. And that's what I've been able to do, is to raise my son and instill in him not the virtues of getting a job, and, you know, but the virtues of saving his people and creating opportunity for black people worldwide. You know, I'm not an American, I'm a black man. He's not Jamaican, he's a black man. Jamaica is just one step in his lineage, in the stock. Right? Just like America is just one stop in my lineage. And it's the same people. When you come to Jamaica, you're going to see somebody that look just like, you know what I'm saying, your cousin, your brother. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? We are all the same people and have the same beginning. And we have to teach the babies that, because they're not going to learn that in school. They're learning how to be bad bitches and gangsters. You know? I must say, yo, I ain't gonna lie, like, I always ask God, you know what I mean, to, you know, guide my tongue. And yo, I ain't gonna front. I just be coming in here talking, like, I got notes and everything of what I want to say, but it's not confounded. It's just like just a topic, and I did not expect to say, you know what I mean, even to go into that story. You know what I mean? Word up. I always talk about, you know, how Jamaica made me happy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, this is therapy for me, you know? I mean, and also it's like, you know, it's like media training, and, you know, I'm rebellious, so people said I couldn't do it and I shouldn't do it, and I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I can't say no more than that, though, about how Jamaicans made me happy. You know what I'm saying? That's my word. That's how Jamaica made me happy, you know. You know, I'm the luckiest man in the world, you know. I'm the happiest man in the world. And, you know, once, like, the appropriate time, we're gonna leave here, you know what I mean? But I'm not going back to America, you know. You know, I make my money in America and I'm out. You know, next stop, maybe, you know, Belize, you know, Panama, you know what I mean, where there's black people, you know what I mean, wherever there's black people, you know what I mean, I want to see. And then, you know, eventually we're going to be out, you know, Kenya, you know what I mean, you know, more like the Eastern, like the area of, like South Africa and up, you know what I mean, Zimbabwe, or we going up to Uganda, you know what I mean, Zambia, you know what I mean, all of that, you know. I really don't, like, from Namibia and to the left, I don't really have no interest in that, you know what I mean, but, or I should say I have less interest in that, you know, I go to America for that, you know what I mean, but, you know, like, South Africa and up, going up into Kenya, Sudan, Congo, yeah. Mm. But, you know, that's enough on that tip, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was like both, you know, my man Danny, he a barber. Anybody who know about the hood, you know what I'm saying? They know, like, the the barbershop is like a sanctuary, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you know, that's black culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get no more black than the barbershop and the church, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, Dan used to always tell me, he's like, yo, you're going to be burnt out by the time you're 28, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he told me that when I was around 19 or something like that. Because, you know, barbers, they see you grow up, you know what I mean? I started going to, you know, to his as a barber because my mother used to cut our hair until we went to go to him. And it was like, you know, I think it probably was like about 10 years old maybe when we started going to him. By the time I was 19, you know what I mean, I was wilding, had a crew. We coming into the barber shop 30 deep, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, we just had, it was a movement, Word is Born. And I'm going to do a video on that too, Word is Born. I'm going to do a video on how, it's not me, I'm going to do a video on how DJ Cheese brought hip-hop to Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Because before, I'm going to say not Jersey, but Central Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Definitely like Elizabeth, Linden, Rahway, South Jersey, you know what I'm saying? Even like parts of North, Sensations and all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody was doing hip-hop like Cheese. But anyway, you know, we was moving fast. You know what I'm saying? We went from like, you know what I mean, doing parties and into, you know, selling drugs and all of that. But, you know, I talk about that all in the first episode. So you want to hear, you know, that story it's in the first episode. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so by the time I was 19, you know, we was driving the flyest cars, had the prettiest girls in town, you know what I'm saying? They, you know what I mean, trying to holler at us, you know what I mean? Or me, you know what I mean? Through, you know what I mean? Like the team that, you know, we had built a, you know, a name. Like, you know, our name was ringing, you know what I'm saying? Not just like as far as me and Cheese, but like my whole team. Like Ron, KT, I got in touch with their family, you know what I mean? So, you know, Ron family, so, you know what I mean, gave me the go ahead. And you get at me, Ron, you know what I mean, love you, you know what I mean, can't wait to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? But like everybody knew, like my team, seriously, TJ was the meanest nigga in Plainfield, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean, like we had a solid team from Andover Ave, not even like with DJ Cheese, you know, like from my neighborhood, you know what I mean, like Ron, TJ, you know, his brother Paul. You know what I mean, Jerome. You know what I mean. But it was, but like with the team, like on the street thing, KT, Ron, TJ. You know, and their little team. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know, we had so much fun. We had so much fun. You know what I mean? And we was wild little dudes. So by the time we was 20, so that's why, you know, he was saying like, Danny, the barber was like, yo, you're gonna be burnt out, you know. I'm gonna cut this short because I want to go over 45 minutes. But we had a great time, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, everything that money could buy, you know what I mean, we indulged in, you know what I mean? And, you know, me being here in Jamaica with less than I've ever had, you know what I mean? I had, like I said, I had a storage full of music equipment, DJ equipment, like anything what you needed. As far as a recording studio, we had it. You know what I mean? I gave all of that up. All of that up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I never felt freer, more happy, and more satisfied. You know what I mean? Because I'm a father. You know what I mean? One who provides nourishment for the family. With that said, love, peace, and happiness.